This is the After Party, live with Kim McAllister. Pick a couch, grab a drink, and settle into the conversation.
Aloha Friday on the After Party Live. Hey, everybody. Thanks for being here. I wait for it all week. Tim Sika with At the Movies with Tim Sika will be along in just a moment. But I do want to ask you to click the subscribe button if you haven't already. Click the like button as well. I always forget to say it, and thank you. We're at 2,500 subscribers and hoping to add a few more. So thank you for subscribing to this show. It is with excitement and great joy that I introduce to you Tim Sika at the Movies with Tim Sika. Welcome, Tim.
Hi, Kim. Thank you for having me.
Hi, thank you for being here. How's it going this week?
Another busy week, with award season upon us. I think the award season officially started August 15th. So, there's lots of stuff to see and look at and criticize and take in and yada, yada, yada. So, yeah.
All right. Well, I was talking to Nikki Maduro yesterday on the Nikki Maduro show, and she, of course, has this on her list. She is very excited to see this movie. It is the first one on your list, and it is called The Conjuring Last Rites. I already can tell you that I'm skipping this movie, but
yeah. Yeah. Well, okay. I'm of two minds about this movie. This is the 9th and final movie, thank God, in the Conjuring movie franchise, right? And whether Kim, whether one likes this movie or not, it's hard not to admit that with this Last Rites final installment, the franchise. They really go out with a bang on this movie. All the stops are pulled out here. Even the movie's length, the 2 hours and 15 minutes, is epic. And they, in fact, this entire movie, they approach it in such a way that you would think the filmmakers actually believe that their finale ultimo horror movie was some sort of Wagnerian opera or Shakespearean epic equivalent. I mean, they really, they're it's serious business with the filmmakers, and but I think this is essentially a very silly and kind of ridiculous horror movie. But there are those moviegoers who believe in the supernatural goings on as dramatized in these movies, because they're all based on true stories, true incidents, which I'll talk about. But and they would disagree with me, but okay, I will say that this movie is really for the fans. And I think for those audiences that are attuned to this kind of story, the movie delivers in spades. It's based on this Smurl haunting incident, which I had never heard of because I don't really follow these things. But the Smurl haunting incident was a situation where that claims were made by this couple, Jack and Janet Smurl, who lived in some small town in Pennsylvania, that their home was haunted by a demon. Mm-hmm. And this went on for 15 years. And so enter Ed and Lorraine Warren, famous or infamous, depending upon your viewpoint, paranormal investigators to see if there's anything that they can do to help exorcise this alleged demon. Okay, so it's more of the same kind of thing you go to expect from these Conjuring movies. Lots of jump scares, lots of heightened and exaggerated sound design, creepy psychic manifestations, creepy apparitions. The finale of this movie can best be described as one 20-minute, supernatural orgasm. I think these movies are ridiculous. Obviously, the general public loves them because they've made 9 of them, several of them starring Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga. I think who've appeared in at least half a dozen of them, playing paranormal investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren, who I kind of thought were kind of cranks. But anyway, I just think these movies are silly. I think they're eye-rolling. I think they're repetitive. A lot of the dialogue is cringeworthy. But if you're a fan of these movies, which I really am not, I think you need to see this Last Rites one. It's incredibly well made. I'll definitely give it that. But can best be summed up for me as a ridiculous story given great weight by its epic in-your-face presentation. I can't recommend it, but hey, if this is your if this is your deal, if this is your what do they call it? Your Jones. If you have a
Jam.
Jones for the if your
Yeah.
jam, yeah,
Uh-huh.
you might want to see it. But oh God, give me a
Okay,
break.
so a
Give me
couple
a break.
comments for you on
Yeah.
this one.
Okay.
Being
Uh-oh.
aware says, I knew Tim would like this movie.
Yeah, I know. I'm getting to be predictable. I know.
Heather said, I saw the first Conjuring and I thought it was dumb, so I never saw the others. Please ask Tim, says Ranting Teacher, if he thinks the Kamala poster in the teenage son's room and the multiple showings of the Rivian logo on the SUV were digs at Trump, as I do.
Oh, good question. I didn't notice all that stuff. You know what? I miss things sometimes because I write things down and I can't always, sometimes I try to like, my attention goes from my
Sure.
notepad to the screen, but at some point, if I have something really like, I don't know, annoying I want to write down, I just don't look at the screen and I'm writing for like a minute. So I missed all that. So,
Oh,
maybe. I mean, I would like to think so.
sounds right to me.
Yeah,
Wes
right.
with $8 today. Thanks, Wes. He says maybe Tim can give us a list of truly good horror movies for the Halloween season.
Let's
Oh,
do that. We'll do
okay.
that when how yeah, closer to the October 31st. We'll definitely do that. Yeah, let's do that.
Thanks, Wes.
Yeah.
Thanks for the idea and the
Yeah.
contribution. That is awesome. And Calvin loves your supernatural orgasm. Yeah, that was
I
pretty
mean,
good.
I'm being a little metaphorical there. I mean, it wasn't, but it was so. I mean, it was so over the top and insanely ridiculous. You can't even really follow exactly what's going on because there's so many apparitions and things falling on people and crushing people and
Oh
blood
God.
all over the place. It's just you go, oh God, it's just yeah. Anyway.
Next movie. It's
Yeah.
Dogs on the Sendero.
Yeah, this is something a little different here. This is a little movie that can almost be described as a DIY work, a do-it-yourself kind of made on a small budget, independent kind of movie. It's called Dogs on the Sendero, and it's a very heartfelt and very touching drama about what it means to survive loss. It's directed, written, and starring Michael Flores. He's a filmmaker and he's a high school teacher. And the story is about a man who loses his wife in a school shooting and who, in order to navigate that kind of deep and profound loss, embarks on this cross-country road trip that he and his wife planned together while she was alive with their little dog, Rosie. And it's a story about grief, healing, moving on, a kind of simple and straightforward and kind of at times poetic exploration of survival, after such a horrible thing happens to you. It's also about companionship and the fragile ties between humans, animals, and the landscapes that we all kind of move through in our lives. And among the film's many pleasures, if you are a dog lover, this is a must see because it features what I think is an Oscar caliber performance by this little dog, Rosie. I mean, they don't give awards for animals, but this little dog, Rosie, the filmmaker, Michael Flores' own dog in real life, this little dog is an indescribable delight, probably the most precious dog of her size ever committed to film. When I saw this movie, I wanted to get a dog, and I wanted to get that exact very dog, and I just wanted to take this little dog and mush her in my face. She's just adorable. So if you're a dog lover, I think you'll love this movie. We're also looking at a film festival hit here. And again, this is another conversation about these small films who are big hits at film festivals. This one won something like 20 film festival awards, but not many people have heard of the film unless they saw it at a festival. So what else can I say about it? It's this visual journey. It's an emotional journey. It invites us to think about what it means to be loyal to someone or something, especially after that person has passed and is no longer with us, because it's about emotional displacement, and the filmmaker, it's interesting, the filmmakers pointed out in interviews that when a tragedy like a school shooting happens, the film is obviously relevant to the America we're living in today, but that when tragedies like these school shootings happens, not only are the victims who died affected, but obviously the people left behind, those people, the deceased loved. And yeah, so the film is an exploration of that, what a particular survivor goes through, and how they make peace with that and continue to love and discover love in what is left behind. So I recommend it. It's now streaming on a bunch of platforms: Amazon, wait, I have it written here, Apple TV Plus, Google Play, Fandango, and YouTube. And yeah, it's a little movie that, as these little movies oftentimes do, they can get lost in the big studio marketing blitz of these bigger budgeted Hollywood movies. And I just wanted to let people know about it, and that it's out there for them to enjoy should they wish to check it out. It's definitely worth a look-see, and it's just this. It's a labor of love. This movie, you can't help but enjoy it and love it. So. Yeah.
Yeah, you would think that a movie that won so many awards at awards, like the smaller art festivals, movie festivals, that would be somewhere like at the Roxy, where maybe you'd have to drive into the city to go see it. But it's nice that it's on Amazon or other streaming platforms. It makes it really easy to watch at home.
Absolutely, yeah. And this is a good one to check out for sure.
This next movie is called The Threesome.
Yeah, The Threesome. It's a modern romantic comedy. Actually, it's more of a romantic dramedy, because there's more drama in this than comedy, although there's humor along the way. Yeah, and the title says it all, right? The Threesome. Right. It's about this guy played by Jonah Hauer-King, who's in the poster there. He's a British actor. You'd never know because he's got a flawless American accent, who wants to start this relationship with this quirky woman. She's the one in the center, played by Zoe Deutsch. So they go on a date together. They encounter another woman while on this date together, a more conservative and religious one. The movie takes place in Little Rock, Arkansas. I think they're making some political statements with this movie too, but they're really underneath and they don't really emphasize them. But anyway, that woman is played by Ruby Cruz. She's on the right, the far right in the poster. And one thing leads to another, and before you know it, well, hey, all three of them engage in a threesome. And wouldn't you know it, it just so transpires that both women become pregnant.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So this is
a big night for him.
It is, right? So it's a fairly interesting, maybe even kind of somewhat refreshing take on the genre, and on 30-somethings taking responsibility for their actions in love and in relationships, with some reasonably surprising plot twists and some satisfying resolutions too, I think. Good acting, good writing. My only gripe with it is that it felt very written. It's as though the writer, I have his name, Ethan Ogilvy, decided that he had a lot of plot points to cover, and so he did one by one at a time, to the point where it felt as though he was ticking off boxes, as opposed to a screenplay that felt more organic. So the script felt at times contrived to me, but that said, I liked the film a lot, and for those looking for a modern romantic dramedy that leaves you with a bit of something to even think about, because the choices that these people make, are not, maybe right, maybe wrong, but they're worthy of discussing after the fact. This is, for the most part, this felt different than what one would normally expect from a rom-com. So, and different, even if it's imperfect, always gets props from me. I love seeing things that I've never seen before. So I recommend this as a different and unusual romantic dramedy, or a rom-com, or I don't know, what would you say, a rom-dram? I don't know. I don't know.
Drama-rom,
yeah.
B.A. Ware says, see, that's why you don't do threesomes.
Well,
very fertile. That's an accomplishment. Double the child support.
I'll tell you. Well, yeah, and then there's the whole moral question too. I didn't go into that. It's like I'm watching this thing and I'm going, I mean, come on, really, honest. Well, whatever. I'm not going to go there. It's up for people to take away from this movie what they want to. But it was refreshing. We talked about, I think it was last week, we talked about Splitsville, and I think that's the best romantic comedy I've seen in a long time. It's interesting that this one is coming on the heels of that one, because this too is good. I don't think it's as good, but we're starting to see, more romantic comedies that are less in the vein of the Hallmark romantic
Sure.
comedies, which are fun and which people kind of know what they're going to get when they see them. But these
Talk about contrived, though. I mean, the
yeah, I
Hallmark
know.
script, it
Right.
just follows like it's just
I
you know what's going to happen before it even happens, and sometimes it's like, really, I'm so bored.
I know, but they have beautiful people and all that stuff, and
Yeah.
people watch those when they want to get their, their fix for those. But
Hmm.
these movies, at least these last two romantic comedies I've seen, I've been more nuanced and
Hmm.
just more interesting. Just
Hmm.
yeah. So yeah, I say the threesome is a good movie to check out for sure.
The next one is called Twinless.
Yeah, and speaking of different, here's a movie unlike anything I'll bet anyone listening or watching has ever seen before. This is delving into and is an exploration of the human condition unlike anything I certainly have ever seen before. It's called Twinless, and it's a kind of a bromance, I guess, although that's not entirely accurate because there's a twist in the story that needs to be kept secret here. But it's basically about two guys played by James Sweeney, who's on the right of the poster there, who meet in a support group for twins whose twin has died.
Oh.
So these two guys bond over oh yeah, the other guy in the support group is played by Dylan O'Brien on the left
Mhm.
of the Maze Runner movies. But these two guys bond over having had a twin brother who died and who are both trying to navigate their way through that loss.
Mhm.
This is primarily a comedy, though a bittersweet one because it does deal with loss and a person's attempt to reconnect to other human beings following such a serious loss. And I hate I'm real when I listen back to some of our playbacks. I hate use. I notice a lot. I use the word unique a lot, and I don't like using the word unique. It's like using the word interesting. There
Yeah.
have to be better words to describe something so different as Twinless is, and I'll come up with some later, whatever, in subsequent chats. But I think what I loved most about the film was that while on some level it was very disturbing too, there's a big creepy, some critics have said sick component to this story.
Oh.
It was also very poignant. And where do you ever see those two elements in a film combined in such a way as to emotionally affect you the way this movie does and linger long after the lights go up in the theater? In a way, this movie I can best be described as both creepy and very sweet. So what am I saying? Simply put, this is a very special movie. I want to see it again because it was very nuanced. I hope Lionsgate, who's releasing it, puts it out on their radar for awards consideration, especially for Dylan O'Brien of the Maze Runner movies, who shows us a facet of his dramatic talent we've never seen before. He's quite good here in a dual role as twin brothers, Rocky and Roman, but I really like Twinless. Also worthy of note, this movie won the prize for audience award at Sundance this year.
Oh.
I was able to see it with an invited audience, and based on their reaction, totally get that it won the audience award. It's a very strange and unusual movie, and I was kind of surprised how responsive the audience was. They were on the movie's wavelength. They got it. They laughed. They cried. Very, very interesting movie. I'm really looking forward to seeing it again.
Huh.
So
Twinless.
Twinless. That says a lot. Usually I see these movies and it's like, okay, what's next?
Mhm.
This is one I want to see a lot because it really lingered in my mind.
You
Yeah.
know what I like about your explanation of this movie is that I've never heard that plot before.
Right, never, right?
Yeah,
I don't
that's
think
fresh.
I ever have either. Yeah, it's
Mhm.
very different. Very, very
Yeah.
different. And what happens along the way is yeah, you're going, whoa, who would have thought of that? Oh my God, this is whoa, okay. Like 20, I think like maybe about a half hour into the film, 20 minutes, there's a shift in plot where you go, holy moly, this is going to get interesting, kind of thing. It's a good,
Wow.
it's a very good film. Very good film.
Okay. Tim's classic movie recommendation of the week is
Yay!
Stranger
Yes,
on a
strange.
Train.
I said stranger. I had a typo in my email. Strangers on a Train, a vintage, and very great Alfred Hitchcock thriller from 1951. It's based on a 1950 Patricia Highsmith novel. She's the one that wrote all those Tom Ripley stories, those creepy Tom Ripley stories. And it stars Farley Granger, yeah, right there in that picture, who and Robert Walker. They play two strangers who meet on a train. Farley Granger plays a tennis pro, Guy Haynes, and Robert Walker plays a very rich and very spoiled character named Bruno Antony. He's a charming sociopath or psychopath, actually both apply, who hates his father, and who, when he discovers that Farley Granger is dead set on divorcing his wife so that he can marry another woman, suggests that they, quote unquote, swap murders. Walker killing Granger's wife in exchange for Granger killing Walker's father. This way, nobody will ever connect either one of them to the actual murders, and they'll get away with murder, literally. It's very sick. But anyway, it's a great film. It's impeccably directed by Alfred Hitchcock with some of the director's greatest suspense set pieces. I'm trying to think of some. The seduction and stalking and eventual strangulation of Guy Haynes' wife Miriam at a local carnival. Amazing stuff. Bruno's desperate attempts to retrieve an incriminating cigarette lighter that has fallen down a street storm drain, which is excruciatingly suspenseful, and the fabulous amusement park sequence finale on an out-of-control carousel, all supreme examples of the quote-unquote pure cinema that Alfred Hitchcock often spoke of when talking about his own movies, and which he alone, in my opinion, was the supreme master of. So yeah, it's a great thriller. It's got suspense, it's got comedy, it's got romance, it's got drama. It's a little perverse in its character subtext. Bruno, the charming sociopath played by Robert Walker, oh man, is this guy messed up. Strangers on a Train. It's a movie that can be enjoyed as pure entertainment, and also from the standpoint of like us critics who look at movies critically and as works of art. I appreciate it. I mean, it's a great entertainment, but I appreciate it as the cinematic masterpiece that it is and always will remain. Hitchcock's attention to detail in this movie and his mastery of craft, oh my God, they're all in glorious evidence here in this movie. One of the very best of his suspense thrillers. And if I recall correctly, this movie came off a string of unsuccessful previous movies that Hitchcock made, a number of them, but it proved that he had not lost his touch one iota. This was a big hit. And I'm also reading a book, Kim, right now called Crisscross, The Making of Hitchcock's dazzling and subversive masterpiece, Strangers on a Train, which I'm reading it and I'm thinking, oh, I should just recommend this movie. This is one we haven't talked about yet. But it's by Stephen Rebello, who wrote the definitive volume on the making of Psycho, which comes out, I believe, this book on the making of Strangers on a Train comes out on the 15th of this month. And I highly recommend it if anybody's interested in this movie or what I might have just said about it. But yeah, Strangers on a Train, it's on Amazon. You can rent it for a few bucks. It's worth every penny. It is just simply a great movie, great entertainment, and a great work of art from the master of suspense, Alfred Hitchcock.
Jeanette says Alfred Hitchcock has been really timeless and classic since the beginning.
Absolutely correct.
Wasn't there kind of something about Alfred Hitchcock where he was creepy, like as far as, you know, around the female staff, or no?
Well, yeah, a lot, during the Me Too movement and a little bit before, a lot came. Oh, yeah, he did some things that today he could not get away with. No, there's an HBO movie called, I believe it's called The Girl, and it details his obsession with and harassment of Tippi Hedren when they were making the birds. It's very, 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 very creepy. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. Yeah, but I mean that's another subject. I'm just talking about his movies. I mean, his movies are just,
Mhm.
in my opinion, they're just incomparable. Yeah.
Heather says, "I'm not really much of an older movie fan, but I do like the Hitchcock films." Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, check
Mhm.
out. Yeah, Heather, check out Strangers on a Train.
And Judy says, "Oh, good. Tubi TV has Strangers on a Train."
Oh
So
yeah,
there
it's on
you go.
Tubi too, which is free.
Mhm.
Yeah, on Tubi.
Yeah.
They have commercials though, don't they?
Sometimes you have to sit through that, yeah,
Yeah.
to get
Oh
the
well. Yeah. Small price to
okay,
pay.
let's do the recap, the Tim Sika recap. The first one was The Conjuring: Last Rites. You said it's the last in
Mm.
the franchise, and they really go out with a bang here. This one you said is for the fans, but you found it silly, ridiculous, eye-rolling, cringeworthy. Uh, you said the
Oh
dialogue was
God,
cringeworthy. You
what a
said, but
crab. Yeah.
despite that if you're a fan, you have to see this one. It is The Conjuring: Last Rites. Dogs on the Sendero. You said it's a little DIY movie going on here, but it's heartfelt and touching, about surviving loss. And there was a great performance by the little dog Rosie that made you want to take her home.
Oh, I
It's a
love Rosie.
it's a film festival hit, won about 20 awards. You called it a visual and emotional journey. And you said this one is streaming on Amazon and other platforms, so it's easy to get a hold of. The Threesome, you said it's a refreshing take, some good plot twists and resolutions with this movie, but it feels written and contrived. And you said despite that, the good acting, the script just feels like stiff. But like this movie, and you said it's a good movie to check out, and that is The Threesome. Yes, and then you, as far as the Twinless, said of this movie, it's a novel look at the human condition. Despite being about loss, it's got a creepy component. It's also a comedy, but you said it's poignant and sweet and a special movie, even though it's strange and unusual. And you would like to see it get some awards. It already got the Sundance Audience Award. You really liked Twinless. And your classic movie recommendation of the week is Strangers on a Train. And this movie is from 1951, streaming on Amazon Prime. Someone else mentioned streaming on Tubi. You said it's a great thriller, suspense, comedy, romance, drama. This movie has it all. A little perverse, though, but you can enjoy it for either pure entertainment or for a cinematic masterpiece from the Alfred Hitchcock. You called it a display of his craft.
It's so interesting, Kim, listening to you,
Mhm.
talk about my words, in my face. I'm going, God, what a pontificating crank. I know, really, hearing it from you, it's sort of like, God, I'm going, geez, oh man. Okay. Anyway, your summaries are always really good and they're
So
always very
funny.
accurate. But it's funny.
Um,
I'm going, God,
did I
God,
really
did I
say that?
say that?
You
Yeah.
did. You're amazing. I think your reviews are amazing. Wes
Oh, well,
writes
thank
in,
you.
I heard they're doing a movie about Knight Rider, the show from the 80s, and I wonder if Tim has heard anything about this.
No, I haven't. No,
Remember
no.
David Hasselhoff?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. No, I mean, yeah. I'm not surprised that they would take a TV series from the '80s and make it into a feature film. That's what they
Yeah.
do a lot of these
Mhm.
days. Yeah,
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess we'll see it. That we'll talk about that one when it comes out.
yeah,
But
for sure.
yes, Tim, have the very best weekend at the movies with Tim Sika. Tim strikes again. Always lovely to talk with you.
Thanks, Kim. It's mutual. We'll talk to you next week, and thanks for having me.
Bye. Bye,
Bye.
Tim. At the movies with Tim Sika. He is on at 1:30 p.m. Fridays Pacific time. Always catch him after the show. I pull this video as a standalone, so if you're just looking for Tim Sika's reviews, that is an easy way to find the movie. So thank you very much. I did see this come in. This is from Luis, who throws in $10. I don't know how you knew this. Hi, Kim. Here's a donation for that school sign at Jacob's school you are fundraising for. Are you frequenting the Petaluma area? So great to see you on Nikki's show. You do it all, my friend. Mahalo for all you do. Luis, thank you. It's so funny. It's jogathon season. You know, the schools are all fundraising. And one thing I hate, first of all, I hate asking people for money. So anytime I get to the jogathon, I just throw money at it and I don't ask anyone for anything. A lot of people post them on Facebook and they're like, "Oh, donate to my kid." And I feel so awkward doing that I'm a horrible fundraiser. And so I'm shocked that you knew this because I didn't post it on Facebook. I don't think I posted it on Facebook. But Louise throwing in $10, I'll put it toward the Jogathon fund. I really appreciate it. The good thing is my husband's company has matching. So whatever we put in, it all gets matched. So I appreciate the contribution to the Jogathon. I'm telling you, it's a rough year for schools. Let's do a couple of stories. First of all, I found this one. Look at this picture. This is called Portrait of a Lady, the picture behind the piece of art behind all the officials. You know something's going on when there's a table full of microphones. This was in a real estate listing that a journalist was perusing and looked at this piece of art and thought, I think I know that art. I think I know it very well, as a matter of fact. It was a painting that was looted by the Nazis, and there it was just hanging right above a couch in a living room on a real estate listing. It's an 18th century work of art called Portrait of a Lady by Italian painter Giuseppe Ghislandi, and it had been stolen from a Jewish art dealer in World War II. And there it was, hanging right above this couch. Crazy. The the picture looted by Nazi official Friedrich Kajen, who fled to Argentina after the war, and he eventually passed this Portrait of a Lady painting down to his daughter, Patricia, who, after it was discovered hanging in the living room, she gave it back to authorities this month. The family's lawyer brought it, showed up at the prosecutor's office, said they wanted to hand this painting back over. The painting, that it said they were looking for the painting and nothing else, according to the prosecutor in charge of this investigation. Apparently, originally, the couple, according to prosecutors, tried to hide the stolen artwork, but now they're attending a hearing on charges of concealment and obstruction of justice. This picture had not been seen since the 1940s. It has been listed in numerous lost art databases. The Dutch newspaper Algemeen Dagblad did this whole investigation on it. And last week, it was that newspaper that made this breakthrough because scrolling through a real estate website in Mar del Plata in Argentina, one of the paper's reporters found a listing for Kajen's house. And in that listing was the first known color photograph of Portrait of a Lady. And it was seen hanging prominently in a thick gold frame right above a green couch. These researcher at the government-run Cultural Heritage Agency in the Netherlands says, in the 20 years we've been doing this work, we've never experienced this, that a painting emerges in this way. The paper publishes a story about this missing artwork with a photo of the real estate listing, and boom, the real estate listing disappeared like that, gone. And when prosecutors went to that property the next day, the painting was gone. During other raids, the properties belonging to family members, authorities uncovered 2 more paintings that may date to the 19th century, as well as a collection of drawings and engravings. Experts are trying to figure out if those pieces of art were also stolen during World War II. But we know Portrait of a Lady is among more than 1,000 pieces of art from this collection that Hermann Göring, who was a powerful member of the Nazi Party, acquired and forced in a sale. And Kajen had been a financial advisor to Göring. The first thought, apparently, from a granddaughter of one of the folks involved in the original theft, the family that owned the piece before it was stolen, said, my first thought is I'm sure there are a lot of these around the world. These works have survived already hundreds of years and may survive a few hundred more and never be returned to the rightful owner. So at the end of the war, a lot of the high-ranking Nazi officials fled to South America. Kagin escaped to the Netherlands and eventually settled in Argentina. That is where he had a family, 2 daughters born there. And he died in Buenos Aires in 1978. So the question that police have and that the journalists have now is whether the daughters knew about this painting and its origins, if they knew the history of it, and would you give the painting like this such a prominent place if you knew that it had been looted in such this way? So now the portrait of a lady has been returned. And there you have it. Fascinating when it happens like that. Look at this guy. What a great smile. This man is now the Guinness World Record holder of the oldest person to make the ascent of Mount Fuji. He's done it twice. He's now 102 years old. No joke. Kokichi Akuzawa is his name. He climbed Mount Fuji with his 70-year-old daughter. I mean, I think she should get a record too. But for the second time, he breaks the record for the oldest person to make this ascent up Mount Fuji. 102. He almost gave up this time. He said, I was really tempted to give up halfway through. Reaching the summit, he said, was really tough. But my friends encouraged me and it turned out well. I managed to get through it, he said, because so many people supported me. So Akuzawa climbed with his daughter Moto, who's 70, his granddaughter, her husband, and 4 friends. They all have this climbing club they do together. And he gets the Guinness World Record. They camped for 2 nights on the way before they made their ascent August 5th to the top of Mount Fuji. It is Japan's tallest mountains at 12,388 feet. He said, I'm impressed actually that I climbed so well. It's better to climb while you still can, he said. He did this the first time at 96. Now he's 102. And he said he's overcome, since the first attempt, heart issues, shingles, had to get stitches from a climbing fall. But he spent 3 months training for this. He'd get up at 5 in the morning and do hour-long walks. He tried to tackle 1 mountain every week, mostly around Nagano in central Japan. Yeah. He said he's drawn to mountains. But it was the people who kept him coming back. He said, I climb because I like it, and it's easy to make friends on the mountain. His job before he retired was as an engine design engineer and later as a livestock artificial inseminator. He did that until he was 85. This guy has longevity. He used to enjoy climbing by himself. But the more he started climbing with other people, the more he really started loving the group climb. He said, I'd love to keep climbing forever, but I guess I can't anymore. Now I'm at the level of Mount Akagai, a nearby summit, he said, about half the height of Fuji. He spends his mornings volunteering at a senior care center and teaching painting at his home studio. Those are cute, cute people. And here he is with his daughter. And there they are with all the art and the paintings. He likes to paint the naturescapes. 102 years old. That is crazy. And he looks just like the happiest guy. So we'll see. I think he's done with the climbing, but maybe not. You never know. Somebody is the lucky recipient. Well, not lucky because they paid a mint for it, of Darth Vader's lightsaber. We knew it was going up for auction, and now we know how much someone was willing to fork out. The lightsaber brought in 2.7 million pounds at an auction in Los Angeles. This was the lightsaber that Darth Vader used in The Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi, and it was sold yesterday as more than one of 400 authentic film props by this auction store called Prop Store. It's a movie memorabilia outlet. The lightsaber, one of several props from sci-fi films, sold the first day. Also, the Resican flute, played by Sir Patrick Stewart when he was Captain Picard on Star Trek, sold for almost £300,000. And the mind-wiping neuralizer used by the agents in Men in Black got £233,000. Platform 9 and 3/4, the sign used in the Harry Potter films, and a wand used by Daniel Radcliffe in The Prisoner of Azkaban were auctioned off. The sign got £102,000, 60,000. So interesting. Yeah, Spider-Man suit worn by Tobey Maguire sold for £215,000. The whip used by Harrison Ford's Indiana Jones in The Last Crusade, and The Last Crusade went for £360,000. So this was quite the successful auction. But the sale of the lightsaber was called a landmark moment, not just for Prop Store, but the entire world of film collecting. They said to see a lightsaber, a Star Wars lightsaber, the symbol of one of cinema's greatest sagas, become the highest valued piece of the franchise ever sold at auction is incredibly special and speaks to the enduring cultural power of Star Wars and the passion of fans and collectors who see these artifacts as touchstones of modern mythology. Yeah. So that's a lot of cash. £2.7 million at auction. Yikes. We have time for this one. This is about a hiker who I think might have overshot his ability to handle shrooms. The hiker was spotted by the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation Forest Rangers on Slide Mountain Wilderness near Woodstock. The mountain is 4,200 feet tall. It is the highest peak in the New York metropolitan area. And rangers got a 911 call, a satellite text really, near the Giant Ledge lookout point is where it came from. A team of 3 rangers made contact with a group of 4 hikers who said they were stranded in the woods after one of them began experiencing a debilitating high. They had magic mushrooms, is what happened while they were hiking in the wilderness. Not advised. If you're going to do something like that, maybe, don't do it in a place where you could get lost, fall off a cliff, trip, break your leg in the middle of nature where there's no one around. The issue, we don't know exactly which issue that the hikers suffered from, but the rangers said somewhere along the way they also lost their car keys. The rescuers helped lead the visitors back to the trailhead. They had to be evaluated by a medical team. Then the ambulance workers cleared the hikers. Rangers provided them a courtesy ride back to their rental lodge. And the rescuers even went back out the next morning to the trail, where they eventually found the car keys in a sling bag hidden under ferns under a log. The recreational use of psilocybin is not currently legal in New York State, but the rangers, they say, thought the bad trip was enough punishment, so no one was cited in this event. You don't want to do that, where you have to call out the rangers. Not the best, right? All right, we talked on Mark's show about the Powerball jackpot swelling to $1.8 billion. But even though nobody won the big jackpot last time, there were some people that walked away with some money. There was a couple of winners here in California, and a first-time Powerball player in Maryland walked away with $50,000. not so bad. I mean, I'd rather have the 1.8 billion, but okay, 50 grand, that's pretty good. This man told lotto officials he decided to buy a ticket for the August 30th Powerball drawing. So he went to the Shore Stop in Stevensville, Maryland. First time ever playing it. And he told the store clerk, he said, I had saw the sign for the drawing, saw that the it was a big jackpot, and he thought, why not? His ticket matched 4 of the first 5 numbers in the drawing, so he gets a $50,000 prize. He said, I was in shock. I had to check it 3 or 4 more times. He is going to put that money into savings right now. He said, I haven't decided anything yet. I'm just going to sit on it for a little while. It is tonight, the Powerball, the second largest lottery jackpot in US history. There was one that went over a little over $2 billion. So this one is the second only to that. At $1.8 billion, your cash value on that, if you'd opted for the cash payout, would be $826,400,000. Yeah. The drawing is on Saturday, and I hope one of you win because I love you all. So I want the good people to win. You're definitely the good people. I think I have time for one more story. Let's do this one. There is a guy who is suing Meta. His name is Mark Zuckerberg, but it's not this Mark Zuckerberg, who is the founder and CEO of Meta. No. This guy, his name is also Mark Zuckerberg. Here he is. Wait, I have a picture of him too. This is the other Mark Zuckerberg. And he is not happy. This Mark Zuckerberg is an Indiana bankruptcy lawyer. He says his Facebook account is constantly being hacked. Businesses refuse to take his bookings. He's constantly getting requests online for money or favors, all meant for the Meta Facebook Mark Zuckerberg. And so now this Mark Zuckerberg is suing Meta. He's suing the other Mark Zuckerberg. He said after years of putting up with people mistaking him because of his name for the founder of Facebook, he has had enough. Between 2022 and 25, this Mr. Zuckerberg paid more than $11,000 to Meta to advertise his law business, trying to draw new clients to his law practice. But his advertisements kept getting removed because they thought he was impersonating a celebrity or using a fake name. It wasn't. His name is really Mark Zuckerberg. He said that was the final straw. I have been dealing with this whole thing, with the sharing of the name of one of the world's most powerful men for well over a decade. And now I'm paying them to advertise, and they keep stripping my advertisement off of Facebook. He has documented the struggles of being Mark S. Zuckerberg. Meta's is Mark E. Zuckerberg, so they do have a different middle initial. But he's got a website with a list called Things That Have Happened to Me Because My Name is Mark S. Zuckerberg. According to the list, he was mistakenly sued by the state of Washington, who thought he was the Meta owner. His Facebook account, again, constantly hacked. Businesses won't take his bookings. They think it's a prank. On the family tree website 23andMe, he has more than 753 people claiming to be relatives who immediately request money from him. He was speaking at a Las Vegas event. He said a limo driver was waiting for him at the bottom of the escalator with a sign saying Mark Zuckerberg. And so there was chaos, and the crowd was disappointed. They'd been standing around waiting for the other Mark Zuckerberg. During an email exchange between Meta employees after his account was deactivated again, he said, if you happen to run into the younger, richer Mark Zuckerberg, tell him I say hi, and he causes me great aggravation every single day. He said he has spent years in communication with Facebook, that he has verified his identity using a government-issued ID and other documents, but his accounts are still repeatedly deactivated. And then Meta employees would have to reinstate his accounts. and listed as verified to stop it from happening again. In one message to Meta, he said, "I don't want to make waves or cause problems. I just want my account reactivated and to left to play on social media in peace." But he has lost thousands of dollars in advertising fees. So he's suing the company and he says it's not funny. I'm sorry, it's kind of funny, but it's not funny. Imagine if you had to deal with this every day. He said it's not funny when they take my money, and this really pissed me off. It's like buying a billboard on the side of the highway, paying the people for the billboard, and then they come and put a giant blanket over it, and you don't get the benefit of what you paid for. A Meta spokesperson told Sky News they have now reinstated Mark S. Zuckerberg's account after finding that it was disabled in error. And they say, "We appreciate Mr. Zuckerberg's continued patience on this issue, and we're working to try to prevent this from happening in the future." He is not being patient any longer, and he has filed a case in Indiana's Marion Superior Court, and he is done. He's done playing the Zuckerberg game. Imagine if you had shared the name with somebody really famous like that and had to deal with the repercussions from it. Man, oh. I do want to thank Luis for the contribution to Jacob's Jogathon Fund. Many thank you. You support the kids. It's been a rough year. The PTA was not able to buy school supplies for everyone this year as usual. We were making some big cutbacks because last year's fundraising wasn't as lucrative as normal. And so this jogathon is really important. So thank you, Luis. I will put the money to the school, and I'm very grateful. Also, thank you to everyone who contributes to the After Party Live, whether that is from stories. I've got a lot of stories. Teacher Lori sent me a list this week. Thank you so much. I get stories from so many of you and ideas, and I'm very grateful for all of the contributions and all of the listener support. You guys are awesome. It is a crowd-funded show, and people send in financial contributions as well to keep this show going, including Wes, Deborah S., Rhonda A., Carol S., Gretchen L. Those are just the most recent. Here, Luis contributing as well. So thank you, a million thank yous. I hope you have a great rest of your weekend. Watch a Strangers on a Train. Enjoy the movie, and let me know what you think about it on Monday. I am filling in for Mark Thompson on Monday. We'll have this interview. It's 45 minutes long, but riveting, about Jamie Mustard's experience trying to get out of Scientology. We'll play it on Monday. Gary Dietrich will be on the show. We'll talk some politics, and I hope to see you back on YouTube. But between now and then, have the very best weekend, and I will see you back here on YouTube on Monday. Bye, everybody.
The After Party Live would like to thank the following contributors and viewers like you.
Good luck, gamblers.